Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IS Academy. So today we are going to discuss the third chapter of Class 8 NCERT, that is the Rise of Marathas. You know? Now this chapter, Rise of Marathas, which includes the later part of medieval India as well as includes modern India also. Okay. So first of all, we need to understand what we are going to discuss in this chapter. What is the importance of this chapter? So first of all, we need to understand that, like for example, as you can see here, several questions. Okay, several questions in the sense like who were the Marathas? How did they manage to become the pan-India power before British took over? Clear? So why it is important for your UPSC examination? So you need to understand it actually demonstrates. Okay, it actually demonstrates the indigenous understanding. Yeah, indigenous understanding of colonial expansion. Fine. Okay. Before the British dominance. Before. Fine. So before British dominance. Fine. Then we need to understand what were some features of their governance and then what impact did the Maratha Empire leave in Indian history. So these are some important things that we need to understand. Fine. Okay. Now, as you can see chart here, now this is something which is related to the Maratha Empire. Now, Maratha kingdom was founded by whom? Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So in 1630, Shivaji was born. Okay. In 1646, beginning of Chhatrapati Shivaji's rule, 57, Chhatrapati Shivaji started or founded its Maratha navy, and then in 1666 he imprisonment, like he was captured by the Aurangzeb, but he escaped from there, you know. And then in 1674, Chhatrapati Shivaji's coronation at Raigad. That means Maratha kingdom was founded. Maratha kingdom founded here. Fine. And then in 1677, as you can see, Dakshin Digvijay. That means he conquered South India, and finally in 1680 he died due to illness. Clear? Okay. Now from 1682 to 1707, as you can see here the timeline, this period, during this period, Mughal Maratha wars were there, which was followed by the sons of Shivaji, that is Shambhaji Maharaj and Rajaram. Fine. Okay. Now we are going to discuss, first of all, who are Marathas. First we need to understand who are Marathas. So try to understand what was their origin. Origin क्या है ना? So origin, they are native people to Deccan Plateau. They are native to Deccan Plateau and more specifically present day Maharashtra region. Clear? And they are identified with their language they speak, that is Marathi language. It has rich and continuous literary history also. Clear? Okay. Now, if I take the example of pre-Maratha history, as you can see here, during 13th century, most of Maharashtra was actually ruled by, it was ruled by the Yadav dynasty of Devgiri, or present day Daulatabad was the capital. Fine. Okay. Then in 14th century, okay. Now in 14th century, this region, Maratha region, was ruled by Yadava dynasty. Clear? So remember this thing, Yadava dynasty was overcome by Khilji Sultanate from Delhi. These things were there. Fine. Apart from this, Bhakti movement and cultural foundation was also there. This paragraph is related to Bhakti movement and cultural फाउंडेशन, फाइन, भक्ति मूवमेंट एंड कल्चरल फाउंडेशन, ठीक है। नाउ पीरियड बिटवीन 7 to 17th centuries across India, clear, what was the nature? It is related to spiritual upliftment, fine, cultural traditions continued, saint and seekers from several parts of India, they actually preferred the path of bhakti, clear. Now path of bhakti is merely, it is it was that it was more preferred, path of devotion was more preferred, fine. So it means a devotion to divine, devotion to divine, fine, and it is alternative to ritualism, this is alternative to ritualism, fine, okay. Now if you see, these saints actually came from diverse sections of society, clear, they composed devotional songs as well as poetries in their own languages of masses, clear, that is why their messages, their teachings traveled far and wide, fine. Now there were saints from Maharashtra also, as you can see this paragraph. So there were saints from Maharashtra, saints from Maharashtra region. Now, who were the important saints? Like Dinaneshwar, Namdev, Tukaram, Ramdas, etc. Clear? So these saints were there from Maharashtra and they gained popularity at this time. Clear? Now, what are the contributions of Bhakti saints? If you see their contribution, first contribution, they translated important texts like Upanishad. They translated Bhagavad Gita into Marathi language. Fine, translated Bhagavad Gita into Marathi, and they also made philosophical text accessible to the people. Fine. Now, apart from this, they focused on social organization. इन्होंने social organization, they focus on political awareness, which is actually similar to Sikh gurus. Clear? In this way, if you see, they actually acquired a solid cultural foundation. In this way, they created a solid, a very strong cultural foundation. Clear? For the future political organization. Clear? For future political organization. Fine. This is the most important thing that we need to understand. Clear? Now, so now we'll talk about the foundation of Maratha power and the rise of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Now, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was born in 1630. Clear? Now, he belonged to Bhosle clan. His father was Shaji Bhosle and his mother was Jijabai. His mother was Jijabai. Fine? Okay. Now, Shahji served the Deccan Sultanate. Yes, he was serving in the Deccan Sultanate. His father was serving in Deccan Sultanate. Fine. His Jagir was Pune. Clear? So, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj grew up under some watchful eyes of Jijabai. Clear? And some trusted officials were also there. That is why his upbringing was value based. Clear? His upbringing was value based and he got good education also. Clear? At the same time, now if you see, at the same time, Pune region was deeply affected by constant fighting between Deccan Sultans, clear, whom Marathas served. It was constantly under the like fight only between the Deccan Sultans, clear, जिनको मराठास ने सर्व भी किया था, and that is why the life of Maratha people was full with hardships. Fine, okay. Now try to understand early military campaigns. Now this is something related to early military campaign. Fine. So when Shivaji was just 16 years old, Chhatrapati Shivaji, he launched military campaign. Fine. Now, initial first consolidation, first he consolidated his hold over Pune region. Clear? So by capturing the neglected and unoccupied fort, जो fort ऐसे ही खाली पड़े हुए थे, unoccupied थे, उनको capture करना शुरू किया शिवाजी ने. Clear? Now, then he started you can say strengthening the networks. Clear? So he is strengthening their defenses. How he strengthened their defenses? Through military fortification. Clear? So he started establishing the military fortification network. Fine. Now, what was his vision? His vision was sovereign kingdom or Swaraj. He wanted to create Swaraj, which grew over the years. Clear? Now, in this way, he extended the political sovereignty. He extended political sovereignty, then economic independence, then third, cultural autonomy also, cultural autonomy. Clear? And last, military strength. Fine? Okay. Now, the most revolutionary initiative, clear, as you can see, this fort, this is very famous, Sindhudurg Fort near Maharashtra Goa border, clear, and it served several naval fortification which was built by Marathas. Fine, okay. Now, apart from this, this is something which is very important. It is related to revolutionary naval initiative, revolutionary naval initiative. Fine. Now, Chhatrapati's kingdom, Chhatrapati Shivaji kingdom, if you see, it was expanded to India's west coast. Clear, so that they can secure access to resources to coastal region. Clear. In this way, what they are going to do. So, try to understand. He established navy. इसीलिए शिवाजी ने क्या बनाया? Navy बनाई. Fine. Now, if you see traditional power position, traditional power position. Fine. Now, traditional power position, Bijapur Sultanate, which was ruled by Adil Shahi dynasty. Clear? So, they used to maintain merchant ship. Clear? Bijapur Sultanate maintained merchant ship but did not possess a full-time naval force. Clear? बीजापुर ने कभी भी अपनी फुल टाइम नेवल फोर्स नहीं बनाई थी which could protect the coast. Clear? At the same time, even Mughal Empire, their navy was very much limited. On the other hand, if you see Maratha innovation, clear, Maratha navy was born, and for the very first time they have created, Shivaji created full-time naval force. He created full-time naval force in Indian subcontinent. Fine. Okay. Now, after this, so to protect his power, to protect his people from powerful enemies, Chhatrapati Shivaji, he had resource, or you can say Chhatrapati Shivaji, he actually records the tactic of guerrilla warfare. Clear? Which uses the small group of people but in a focused way with speed, surprise, and knowledge of terrain was very important to defeat the bigger armies. Clear? In this scenario, you will see that Chhatrapati Shivaji, he also secured with the navy, he actually secured the coastal region, he got the access to maritime trade and commerce, and he also protect the region from European naval threats. Fine? Okay. So, in this way, he became legendary and he challenged the European naval monopoly also. Okay. Now, we need to understand the this Afzal Khan incident. This is related to Afzal Khan incident. Clear? So soon Shivaji, he started capturing the areas of Bijapur also, various forts also. That is why the Bijapur ruler sent Afzal Khan to confront him. Afzal Khan को भेजा गया. Clear? Now, why Afzal Khan was sent? Afzal Khan was sent because, remember this thing, Shivaji was getting success, which was a challenge for Bijapur Sultanate. Clear? That is why he was sent. ठीक है. Now, Afzal Khan was sent, so Chhatrapati Shivaji and his advisor, they managed to convince Chhatrapati Shivaji और उनके जो advisors थे, they managed to convince Afzal Khan to meet him one-on-one meeting. है ना? They managed to convince him, Afzal Khan, for one-on-one meeting. Clear? In Pratapgarh Fort. Pratapgarh Fort में, है ना? ठीक है. Pratapgarh Fort as well as thick forest. So Chhatrapati Shivaji killed Afzal Khan. In this scenario, he killed Afzal Khan and Marathas hidden in the mountains. And they started defeating the Afzal Khan's army with guerrilla tactics. Clear? So guerrilla warfare क्या है? It was actually led by the small groups. Clear? Focused objectives were there. Speed as well as surprise was there, terrain knowledge was there. So these things were fine. Okay. Now, after this, so for against Afzal Khan, Shivaji used this Wagna. It is a small weapon shaped like tiger's claw, which Chhatrapati Shivaji used to kill Afzal Khan in close combat. Clear? This is called as, remember this thing, this is called as Wagna. Clear? ठीक है. After this, Mughal emperor, है ना, Mughal emperor औरंगजेब sent Sahista Khan को भेजा, invaded Shivaji territories with big army for 3 years. Clear? ठीक है. Now Shivaji responded with limited soldiers. Clear? Shivaji responded with limited soldiers, and Chhatrapati Shivaji raided Sahista Khan's camp at night. Clear? Okay. Now Sahista Khan barely escaped from the raid. Clear? Sahista Khan also lost his few fingers, and then Sahista Khan was badly wounded and he left Maharashtra. Clear? So this raid actually resembles us modern day surgical strike also. Fine. Now after this, as a retaliatory action, clear, Chhatrapati Shivaji sacked Surat. That means he plundered Surat. Surat, which was the wealthy port city in Gujarat of Mughal Empire. Fine. And from Surat, he got enormous wealth, almost 1 crore rupees, and large sum for the time. Clear? Now, what was the ethical approach if you see? You know? So he was careful. That was his ethical approach. He was careful not to attack religious places. Clear? Even he also spared the house of Mohandas Parekh, a charitable man. है ना? He also spared the house of Mohandas Parekh, who was a charitable man at that time. Clear? And after few years, again Shivaji sacked Surat. Clear? So this event became so famous that these events were appeared in London Gazette, which was the English newspaper of that time. London Gazette. Clear? उसमें भी ये चीजें आई. And in this way, Europeans got the message. Clear? So remember this thing. In this way, Europeans also got the message. Clear? That he demanded immediate presence of money. Clear? So Shivaji wrote to all the European diplomatic agents in Surat, and Shivaji demanded immediate presence of money. Clear? And immediate presence of money, if European agents, if they are not going to pay the tribute to Shivaji, so again he is going to ruin that city. These things were there. Okay. Now, what was the outcome of that? So in this paragraph, they have mentioned about the outcome. So what was the outcome? Outcome was, it was a great insult to the might and prestige of Mughal Empire. Clear? In this scenario, when Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb was humiliated, so Aurangzeb sent Jai Singh, who was the important Rajput general, and Jai Singh defeated Chhatrapati Shivaji. Fine? Jai Singh defeated Chhatrapati Shivaji. Clear? And in this scenario, when in 1665, in the Battle of Purandar, and then Chhatrapati Shivaji had to concede the defeat at Purandar Fort, which is near Pune, and then Treaty of Purandar was signed. कौन सी treaty sign हुई थी? That is Treaty of Purandar. Fine. And Chhatrapati Shivaji had to give 23 out of 35 forts. Clear? And his son Sambhaji had to enter into the Mughal service. That means his son Sambhaji had to do service in the Mughal Empire. They had to do Mughal service. Fine. Okay. Now, after this, clear? After this, Jai Singh also persuaded Chhatrapati Shivaji to visit Mughal court at Agra. Clear? And in Mughal court of Agra, Chhatrapati Shivaji was made to stand before the Aurangzeb. Fine. And a Mughal general whom he had defeated earlier. Clear? So Chhatrapati Shivaji in this scenario was put under the house arrest. Clear? Chhatrapati Shivaji was arrested. Clear? Now Chhatrapati Shivaji escaped from Agra in 1669. He created the strategy and he started distributing gifts to holy men and Mughal generals. Clear? These things were started. So distributing gifts in the sense like fruits, sweets. Clear? these things were given to holy men as well as Mughal generals. Clear? Now, so these gifts were there, and the guards initially checked them, but soon those Mughal guards stopped doing so. Clear? Because these guards were expecting that Chhatrapati Shivaji and Sambhaji, clear, they are just giving the gifts. Clear? Earlier they used to check everything, and in this scenario, Chhatrapati Shivaji managed to escape from the prison of Agra. Clear? And then Aurangzeb could never capture Chhatrapati Shivaji again. Fine. This was the scenario. Now, after few years, okay, after few years, in 1674, Chhatrapati Shivaji was coronated with full Vedic rituals, clear, at the fort called as Raigad, and he created in 1674, Shivaji founded Maratha kingdom. Fine. He founded Maratha kingdom, and his title after the coronation was Shri Raja Shiva Chhatrapati. Shri Raja Shiva Chhatrapati. Clear? And he started his own era, Rajyabhishek Shaka. Clear? So he started his own era. So this is like a kind of formal declaration of sovereignty as well as Hindu cultural identity. Fine? Okay. Now after this, Chhatrapati Shivaji embarked upon the conquest of South. That is why Chhatrapati Shivaji is also called as Dakshina Digvijay. That means King of South also. Clear? It included the important and ill-defended region present in northern Tamil Nadu and parts of Karnataka also. Fine. And this southern extension later gave Marathas great strategic depth against the Mughal invasion. Clear? Why? Because it created the buffer zone. It created buffer zone. Fine. Okay. Now, now, after this, what was the notable action? So, as you can see here, the notable action, okay, stands on slavery. Stands on slavery. Now, how stands on slavery? So, Chhatrapati Shivaji forbade the Dutch from trading slaves. Clear? And at that time, most Europeans were capturing and selling Indians. They used to sell Indians as slaves, and that is why encountered no opposition from Indian powers until Chhatrapati Shivaji intervened. So Chhatrapati Shivaji stopped these European people to trade Indians as slaves. Clear? So his stance on this abuse, it actually showed his deep concern for his people, for his subjects. Fine? Okay. Now, as you can see, these were the regions under the control of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Okay. Now, after this, in 1680, at the age of 50, when he was 50, clear? So he died. Clear? Chhatrapati Shivaji died in 1680 when he was 50. So in this scenario, we can say he was a master strategist, true visionary also. Clear? Within his lifetime, his exploits had become legendary across India. Clear? As well as beyond. So even Europeans compared him with ancient generals like Alexander. Europeans ने इनको compare किया है किसके साथ? Alexander के साथ. Clear? Then Bundela Prince Chhatrasal was so inspired by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, clear, against the Mughals that he managed to create an independent kingdom, that is Kingdom of Bundelkhand. Clear? Kingdom of Bundelkhand. So Bundelkhand present area which actually divides the present day UP as well as MP area. Then famous Hindi poet, if you see, Bhushan, clear, he came to Maharashtra to meet Chhatrapati Shivaji and he composed poems in his praise. Fine? And some of the poems even important today also. Clear? These things were there. Now, what was the situation of Marathas after Chhatrapati Shivaji? Now, Chhatrapati Shivaji had two sons, Shambhaji and Rajaram. After the death of Chhatrapati Shivaji, Shambhaji became Chhatrapati. Clear? Then Marathas were then the only obstacle to control Mughal control in the Deccan. So for Marathas, remember this thing. So for Mughals, the only obstacle during this time period were मराठाज ओनली. क्लियर. मुगल्स के लिए सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज इस टाइम पीरियड में औरंगजेब के लिए क्या था? मराठास. फाइन. ओके. सो आफ्टर दिस यू विल सी दैट Aurangzeb invaded the Deccan and conquered Bijapur region, Adil Shahi dynasty, and Golconda, Qutub Shahi dynasty in 1687. Fine. Then Aurangzeb captured the Shambhaji, and Aurangzeb tortured him brutality, and then Shambhaji was executed by Aurangzeb in 1689. And after this, he captured Raigad. Aurangzeb captured Raigad after the death of Shambhaji. Aurangzeb captured Raigad, which was the capital of Marathas. Fine. This is something which is very important. Now, after Shambhaji, clear, after Shambhaji, Raja Ram became Chhatrapati, and Raja Ram fled to Jinji, present day in Tamil Nadu. Now, Mughal Maratha conflict was spread to South India, and Marathas used to defend their fortress, and they also had upper hand over the Mughals in the battle as well as skirmishes. Why? Because Marathas always go for the guerrilla warfare. Clear? So Aurangzeb was unable to leave Deccan, clear, and died without having succeeded in subduing Marathas. So Aurangzeb also died in 1707, but Aurangzeb was unable to subdue the Maratha power. Clear? So in this scenario, we can say Marathas emerged as strong contender to the Mughals. Clear? No longer on defensive. Marathas led by Tarabai. So after the death of Raja Ram died in 1700. Raja Ram was killed by Aurangzeb. So after the death of Raja Ram, Tarabai, the wife of Raja Ram, as you can see, she made large scale inroads into Mughal territories because Tarabai was also expert in guerrilla warfare, and then she conquered the large parts of India. Clear? These things were there. Okay. Now during this rapid expansion, Marathas transformed themselves into structural way. Yes. So what was the structure in Maratha administration? First of all, centralized system. Clear? Centralized system was there. So from centralized state from Chhatrapati Shivaji's time gave way to more decentralized structure. So it is the transformation from centralized system to decentralized system. During the time period of Chhatrapati Shivaji, it was centralized state, but after the death of Chhatrapati Shivaji, it became decentralized state. Okay. Now how decentralized state? Because the chief power, now try to understand the chief power. Okay, various chiefs were there, and the chief power was Peshwa. Peshwa is actually the Persian term for prime minister. Clear? Now, Peshwa had great influence even over Chhatrapati also. Clear? And if you ask, or if you try to understand who was the most important Peshwa, so the most powerful Peshwa was Peshwa Baji Rao I. Yes, Peshwa Baji Rao I was the most important Peshwa. Fine. Okay. Now we need to understand these things. Now Peshwa Baji Rao I and his son Nana Sahib Peshwa, two Peshwas, Baji Rao I and his son Nana Sahib Peshwa. Why they are important? Because they are instrumental in making Marathas into pan-India empire. They expanded the rule of Marathas pan-India, fine, from northwest to whole India. This much is clear to all of you. ये याद रखिएगा. Now, so in this scenario, Marathas actually brought large part of India under their control, and they started ruling in those areas. Clear? But with the regional chiefs acquiring more power and autonomy, so regional chiefs, they started acquiring more power and autonomy. So this resulted into the occasional indiscipline as well as abuse also. Clear? In stark contrast with Chhatrapati Shivaji's values. So apart from this, Marathas' 10-year campaign in Bengal, it inflicted much cruelty and devastation on common people also. Fine? Okay. Now this was something which is negative in nature, that they inflicted much cruelty and devastation on common people in Bengal region. Okay. Now apart from this paragraph is related to northward expansion. So Marathas, they actually controlled the areas of Lahore, Attock, and even Peshawar region in modern day Pakistan. They also fought with Afghan people. Clear? Now, though Marathas were defeated disastrously in 1761 in Third Battle of Panipat. Marathas were defeated disastrously. Fine. So they quickly recovered during the time period of Peshwa Madhav Rao I. Clear? But under Maharji Shinde, under the leadership of Maharji Shinde, also called as Maharji Scindia, one of the Maratha Sardars, Shinde, है ना, और Scindias कौन थे? Scindias were one of the Maratha Sardars. So they went on to recapture Delhi in 1771. Now, Delhi, which remained under their control till the British captured it. Clear? British captured Delhi region in 1803. Fine? Okay. Clear? Now, so we can say that under his leadership, under Maharji Shinde or Maharji Scindia, Marathas actually adopted European style of discipline, troops as well as European style of artillery also. Okay. Now, so how decline of Maratha took place? So in the later half of 18th century, chief rivals of British in India were Marathas. 18th century में सबसे बड़े rivals कौन थे? Britishers के Marathas. Clear? And in this scenario, you can see that Anglo-Maratha wars, three Anglo-Maratha wars took place from 1775 to 1818. Three wars took place. Clear? And in these three wars, British victory and Maratha power was ended. Clear? British won in Anglo-Maratha War and Maratha power was ended, and because Marathas were also disunited in this period. Fine. Now, the question here is, what are the reasons for the Maratha defeat? So, first reason is internal disunity established in the Marathas. Clear? Second, superior organizational and technological abilities of British, and then better disciplined forces of British. These things were there. Fine. Okay. Now, apart from this, now we'll discuss the Maratha administration. Fine. So, first of all, civilian administration. So, civilian administration. So, basically, what was their organizational philosophy? Organizational philosophy. Okay. Now, so if you see Maratha administration, Chhatrapati Shivaji created relatively centralized administration for his kingdom. First point. Okay. Second, now Chhatrapati Shivaji abolished the hereditary post. Now, no one is going to get based on their privileges, है ना, or hereditary basis. Everyone was given on the basis of merit. So he abolished hereditary post and he adopted merit based post. Fine. Then second, he used to pay the salary to every government official out of state treasury. Third important thing, salaried official from state treasury, not land assignments. Land assignments were not given. Fine. After this, periodic transfers were also there. Yes, he started transferring the official. Clear? So that these officials would not have enough power to dictate terms to the king. This was the scenario. Okay. Now there are some social welfare measures also. This is related to social welfare measures. Now, what are the social welfare measures? Chhatrapati Shivaji also gave pension to widows of soldiers, clear, who are killed in the battle. Second, he used to offer the military post to their sons of soldiers. Fine. So this actually demonstrated his care for his subjects, soldiers, and their families. Fine. Okay. Now, as you can see here, these are Chhatrapati Shivaji coins, minted gold and copper coins in his own name. है ना, Chhatrapati Shivaji. Clear? It actually signifies his sovereignty. Okay. Now, and he used Devanagari script. It is also an assertion of cultural identity. Fine. Okay. Now, apart from this, Shivaji's Ashtapradhan. Ashtapradhan means 8 council of ministers. As you can see this chart, the first was Prime Minister Pradhan, who will look after overall administration. Second will be Finance Minister, called as Amatya. Third will be Land Revenue Minister, called as Sachiv. Okay. Then fourth will be Nyayadhish, Chief Justice. Then fifth, Pandit Rao, Head of Religious Affairs. Sixth, Senapati, Commander in Chief. Seventh, Sumant, Minister of Foreign Affairs. And eighth, Mantri, Intelligence Minister or Home Minister. These posts were created. Fine. Now, apart from this, you know, Marathas also levied various taxes. So, two main taxes were there. One is Chauth, 25%, that means 1/4 will be taken. Second, Sardesh Mukhi, 10%. Clear? Sardesh Mukhi. So, remember this thing, Sardesh Mukhi and Chauth, two taxes were there. Fine. Chauth was like protection and security provision. Chauth is taken from the neighboring kingdoms as a protection money. Protection and security provision. Fine. So that Marathas will not plunder their region. Clear? This Sardesh Mukhi was extra administrative overhead. Extra administrative overhead. Fine. These things were there. Clear? So these taxes were collected from those places which were not under the control of Marathas, like in Deccan and North India, neighboring kingdoms. In return, Marathas protected those provinces and did not intervene in their internal administration. That we are not going to plunder because you are paying money to us, you are paying taxes to us. So Mughals also approved this arrangement through various treaties. Even Mughals ने भी approve कर दिया था this arrangement through various treaties. Clear? And over time, some of these provinces became part of Mughal, some of these provinces became part of Maratha Empire. Fine. Now, apart from this, if you see coins, as you can see here, coins. So, early Maratha coins, if you see early Maratha coins, so Marathas adopted the Mughal style coinage system. Clear? But they also added their symbols in it. Clear? Now, this rare Maratha coins is known as Ganpati Panta Pradhan Rupee. Ganpati Panta Pradhan Rupee. Clear? Which was minted in early 19th century by Patvardhans. Patvardhans, they were actually the generals under Peshwa. Fine? Now, apart from this, on one side, invocation to Ganpati, that is Ganesha, on the other side, loyalty to the Peshwa. Clear? That is Panta Pradhan. So, early Maratha coins, if you see, they are actually created in the name of Shivaji also. Fine? And then later you will see that these coins, Ganpati, Panta, Pradhan, Rupee, also came into the picture. Now, apart from this, military administration. Okay. Now, military administration. So, Marathas, they have actually divided their armed forces into three parts. Clear? Three main components: infantry, cavalry, and navy. Cavalry जो था है ना, made up of two things. Clear? Two types of soldiers. In cavalry, there were two types of soldiers. One is Bargir, another is Silhedar. Bargir, whose horses and equipments were paid for by the state. Bargir means permanent soldiers who are paid by the state. Clear? Silhedars are the self-maintained soldiers. Clear? Whose horses and equipment paid by the soldiers themselves. Clear? They are like freelancer. Whenever Marathas need additional army, they will be employed. Fine. Now, in 18th century, Marathas also noticed the European style disciplined troops as well as artillery. Clear? That is why they try to recruit such troops also. Like Maharji Shinde had a large European style of army. Clear? And then another important thing was Navy. Okay, now we'll talk about Navy also. Okay, now as you can see, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj created a strong navy to secure the western coast. Clear? It was a revolutionary force under Shivaji. Fine. In this way, the maritime dominance also came on the western coast, and he protected Maratha kingdom from European expansion. Clear? Now, what are the weapons? Clear? What were the preferred weapons? Now we'll try to understand the preferred weapons. So as you can see here, first is sword, lances. They were the preferred weapons of Marathas. Then progressible weapons, they also use guns in sizable numbers. Clear? It is said that rockets were used in military campaigns from the days of Shivaji himself. And by 1770, metal tube rockets were also being used. These were the innovations. 1770. Fine. Okay. Now, apart from this, clear? Apart from this, what was the functions of forts? Clear? So forts were also created. So forts are the core of state. Clear? First of all, forts used to give what? Forts used to give the strategic control. It used to give strategic control to Marathas. Fine. Second, forts were also the military base. Military base. Forts used to give the guerrilla warfare support. Guerrilla warfare support. Fine. And then forts were also the administrative center. These were also the administrative center. Fine. These things were there. So there were different types of forts. Let me tell you, there were different types of forts. Now, what are those different types of forts? See, hill forts, hill forts were there, coastal forts like Sindhudurg, coastal forts, and then land forts were also there. Like hill forts, Raigad, Pratapgarh fort tha, hill fort. Then coastal forts, Sindhudurg, Vijayadurg fort, and rest land forts were there. Fine. Now, maritime supremacy. As we have discussed, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, he founded the Maratha Navy, clear, so that he can secure the western coast. In 18th century, Kanhoji Angre was the leader who guided the Marathas to victory in many naval battles. Kanhoji Angre, he guided the Marathas in many naval battles. Fine, because Kanhoji Angre, he knew clever use of geography and battle tactics. Clear? And despite Maratha ships not being as technologically advanced as European ones, these things were there. Clear? Now, how they used to compensate? Clear? So, they used to compensate through superior tactical knowledge. Marathas used to compensate through superior tactical knowledge, geographical advantage, naval warfare experience was there, and then local water, you can say local waters mastery was also there. Clear? Now, apart from this paragraph is related to trade pass system. Trade pass system. Now, what is this trade pass system? Clear? So, try to understand. Main strength of Europeans in India was their navies, and they forced Indian to purchase their naval trade passes like cartes in Portuguese. Clear? So, main strength क्या था Europeans के लिए? Their naval trade passes, cartes. Clear? And Indian rulers need to purchase those things. Clear? Okay. If there is any ship without a trade pass, that ship will be confiscated by the Portuguese. Clear? So Marathas challenged this practice and they started demanding passes from European themselves. Marathas ने इसको challenge किया and they started demanding passes from Europeans. This actually showed their frustration by labeling Kanhoji Angre a pirate. That is why Europeans, they started creating a rumor that Kanhoji Angre was a pirate. Clear? So, what was the outcome of this? Clear? What was the outcome of this? So, the outcome of this was actually that it reversed maritime hierarchy and it actually challenged the European monopoly, European naval monopoly. Fine? ये याद रखिएगा. Like there is one story in 1665, 4 ships from Chhatrapati Shivaji's fleet reached Muscat, capital of Oman. The ruler there captured them and arrested the men on board. Then he also prepared a few ships to attack Shivaji's coastal possession. Clear? But on hearing that Chhatrapati Shivaji, what he did, he actually contained more than 100 ships and he retreated inside the harbor with his ships. These things were there. Now we'll discuss the judicial system of Marathas. See, Maratha had efficient judicial system. Clear? Now they did moderation in using capital punishment. Capital punishment means death penalty. Fine. Okay. Now their main judicial body was Panchayat. Panchayat was the main judicial body. Fine. So Panchayat, remember this thing. See, you should not be confused with current day Panchayat, which is a government body. Clear? Was so this actually this Panchayat was a local gathering of officials and prominent men. Clear? And the main body that delivered justice. Main body used to deliver the justice. Clear? Now it is different from the modern day Panchayat. Fine? Okay. Is there any appeal mechanism? Yes, an appeal could be made to Maratha chief in case of unsatisfactory verdict of Panchayat, and additionally in various prominent towns like Pune, Indore, etc. Kotwal or police was also deployed to ensure law and order within the city. Clear? So they were also deployed. Now apart from this, trade networks. Now, with respect to trade networks, Chhatrapati Shivaji encouraged trade and actively participated in maritime foreign trade himself. Clear? Now, his officials had their own ships. They used to send their ships regularly to various regions like Mocha in Yemen, Muscat in Oman, Malacca in Malaysia. And some of these ships used to carry the cargo like gold, textiles, etc. and other valuable commodities. Fine. Apart from this, this is related to infrastructural development. Infrastructure development. Now, with respect to infrastructure, road construction and maintenance was started. Clear? Like, for example, systematic road networks was created. Okay, systematic road network was created. Fine. Now try to understand. For example, there is one story related to riverine transport in Odisha in 18th century. A network of ferries was maintained for riverine transport. Bridges were built over rivers as well as small streams. These were the infrastructural development. Fine. Now next important thing is cultural revival. See, Marathas contributed substantially to India's cultural development also. Clear? How? For example, the concept of Swaraj. Now, this concept of Swaraj, if you see, it means self sovereignty. Swaraj का मतलब क्या है? It means self sovereignty. Sovereignty. Fine. Okay. Now, this is actually evident on Sanskrit inscription. Clear? Sanskrit inscription. This was actually a departure from the prevalent Persian seals, and this Sanskrit seal, as you can see here, है ना, it marked the authority of Shivaji and son. Clear? And now it marked the authority of Shivaji, who was a son of Shahji. Clear? And it is like a new moon came into the picture, है ना. So these things came into scenario. Fine. So this actually represent now Shivaji established the political kingdom, political sovereign, economic self-sufficiency, cultural autonomy was there, military strength was there. So his central idea of Swaraj was self-rule without foreign denomination. His central idea was self-rule without foreign denomination. Fine? Okay. Now, apart from this, Chhatrapati Shivaji also commissioned a treatise called as Rajya Vyavhar Kosh, a treatise. That means in this, the main aim was to promote the Marathi language. And he also provided Sanskrit equivalent for prevalent Persian words, which was used in diplomatic exchanges also. Clear? So what was the outcome of this? Outcome iska kya hoga? It actually significantly reduced foreign loan words in Maratha diplomacy. Clear? So this is like cultural assertion through language policy. It is like cultural assertion through language policy. है ना? Remember this. Now, apart from this, if you see the Marathi script, okay. So apart from this, so if you see Marathi script, fine. So as it is written here, Modi script is the Marathi script. Clear? ये याद रखिएगा. Modi script was the Marathi script. This was the main script used by Marathas for their correspondence. Clear? Now we'll talk about the religious and architectural contributions. Okay. Now, religious and architectural contributions. Fine. Now, religious architectural contribution. So he was a devout Hindu, but respecting the other religions also. Clear? He was a devout Hindu, but respecting other religions as well. Fine. This is something which is very important. We need to understand. Clear? As you can see here, it is written here, who respected other religions, upholding his own. Clear? Second, the flag symbolism, his saffron colored flag was adopted by all Marathas. Then temple restoration, he rebuilt desecrated temple, promoted Sanskrit and Marathi literature, religious institutions as well as traditional art. Clear? Now, later Maratha contributions, if you see, clear? If we see later Maratha contributions, so he contributed, so basically try to understand Chhatrapati Shivaji, he revived the ancient Indian culture, clear, by giving people a demonstration that mighty kingdom or empire could be defeated. Okay. Now, apart from this, later Maratha kingdoms like Bhosles of Nagpur emerged as enthusiastic supporter of local culture. They supported local culture as well as tradition and the worship of the deity Lord Jagannath at Puri, which was often interrupted during the Mughal rule. So it was revived with the support of Marathas only. Lord Jagannath Puri, the worship of him was revived by the support of Marathas. Clear? But the most important impressive contribution came from few remarkable Maratha women. Clear? Now we need to understand the few remarkable Maratha women also. Clear? So first, mighty Maratha women was a you can say a warrior queen, that is the queen of Rajaram, that is Tarabai. Clear? So after the death of Aurangzeb, try to understand, Tarabai ruled over the Maratha empire. Clear? Now she also organized large Maratha armies and she sent forces to invade Mughal territories in North India also. Clear? That is the relevance of Maratha women. Fine. This is something that we need to understand here. Clear? Okay. Now, apart from this, if you see, the most important and remarkable Maratha women was Ahilya Bai Holkar. As you can see, the mighty Maratha women, Ahilya Bai Holkar and Tarabai. Tarabai was fearless Maratha warrior queen. Clear? अभी हमने discuss किया. Second was Ahilya Bai Holkar. As you can see, so she belonged to Holkar dynasty, one of the Maratha chiefs. Clear? Now she ruled a considerable amount of kingdom in central India, present day Indore. Clear? So after losing her husband and son, she bravely governed the state of for 30 years. She administering it wisely while caring for common people also. She cared for common people also. है ना? Ahilya Bai was a devout person. She built and restored hundreds of temples, ghats, wells, and roads throughout India. And she was ruling from Kedarnath in the north to Rameshwaram in the south. So she built all these important temples. Fine. Now it is said that Ahilya Bai Holkar, she rebuilt Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi, which was destroyed by Aurangzeb, and Somnath temple in Gujarat, which was destroyed by Mahmud of Ghazni. So she actually restored all these temples. Clear? Ahilya Bai Holkar is also credited with promoting Maheshwar weaving industry in MP. that actually revived the handloom craft, which is continuing today also. Fine, these things were there. Now, after this Thanjavur area. Now, what happened in Thanjavur? Now, we need to understand southward expansion. So, southward to witness another example of cultural contribution. Kaise? Ekoji, who was the half brother of Chhatrapati Shivaji. Clear? Now, Ekoji conquered which region? Thanjavur region. Ekoji conquered Thanjavur region, present day Tamil Nadu, in late 17th century. It actually marked the beginning of Maratha rule in Thanjavur area. Thanjavur Marathas specially helped in creating a syncretic culture which was rich and full of innovation. Clear, they have created a wonderful culture and a cultural contribution was there, and they were also great patrons of arts, and many of the rulers, they were poets also as well as dramatists also. Fine. Okay. Now, as you can see, this Thanjavur style painting, which featuring the delicate gold foil work, clear, which is rich, radiant appearance, and this style flourished under the patronage of Marathas. Clear. Now, apart from this, another important ruler was Sarfoji II, most important Thanjavur Maratha ruler. Clear. ठीक है. Now, first of all, he was a multilingual person. He was multilingual person. Multilingual means he was well versed in many Indian and European languages. He wrote Marathi play called as Kuravanji. Devendra Kuravanji. He wrote this play. Clear? And what was the content? Where he described the world geography in very detail. And Sarfoji also patronized many talented musicians. Also, he patronized many talented musicians. Clear? And he also patronized the modern Carnatic music, which took shape. Clear? है ना? So this is something which is very important. So modern Carnatic music development took place during the time period of Sarfoji. Clear? And then Bharatanatyam dance form also. Clear? So early stages of Bharatanatyam developed under his patronage. Early stages developed under his patronage, that is Sarfoji. Clear? Okay. Now apart from this, Dhanvantri Mahal. Clear? So this is something related to scientific and medical innovations. Scientific and medical innovations. Fine. Sarfoji interested in medicine also. Clear. That is why a medical center was established by him called as Dhanvantri Mahal. Clear. Now this center Dhanvantri Mahal, it used to offer free treatment of diseases using both Indian as well as Western medicine. Clear. So it actually shows the syncretic approach to knowledge, mixture of Indian as well as Western culture. Fine. Okay. Now apart from this, printing press was also important. Sarfoji also started the printing press. This was first such example in India by a native ruler. Clear? Then he got what he did in this. He actually inscribed Bhosle family history also on the walls of Brihadeshwara temple. On the walls of Brihadeshwara temple, he inscribed the history of Bhosle family on walls. Clear? And it is one of the largest inscriptions in India. Fine, one of the largest inscriptions in India. It is a record of posterity. Clear? These things were there. Now, apart from this, so this cultural environment of Thanjavur was multilingual in nature, which is a mix of many influences, and local Tamil culture, Telugu culture of former rulers and current rulers of Marathi culture, they have interacted with each other freely. That means there was no language conflict. Clear? So overall, we can say what was the Maratha legacy. First of all, they have created the Pan India Empire, largest Indian empire before British took place. And this is the first important thing. Second important legacy was they have given a very important governance model. They have created new way of governing with efficient administration. Third important thing is they revived local Hindu tradition without religious discrimination. Clear? Brought the concept of Swaraj. Then another important thing they also did, military innovation. Fine, clear. So overall, we can say Marathas contributed for Indian culture as well as Indian history both. Fine. Like if you see ideological legacy. So what was the ideological legacy of Marathas? First thing is Swaraj concept. Swaraj concept. Second, it has impact on freedom movement. Freedom movement. Fine. It has impact on freedom movement. Clear? So these things were there. So this is something which is important for your examination. Okay. So this chapter is related to medieval, later medieval India as well as for your modern India also. Clear? So I hope this much is clear to all of you. So with this we have completed chapter number 3 of class 8 NCERT. Now in next chapter, that is chapter number 4, what we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss the colonial India. I hope this much is clear. So thank you for watching this video.